It's a nice little exciting moment when you kind of open Reddit and you see someone's found the thing that you kind of just snuck in under the radar and no one really knows about it. And some of the players are really clever. There's some hard Easter eggs that some of the level designers and gameplay designers have put in, and people have managed to solve it with no help whatsoever. Gamers are smart.
So now that you know, be on the lookout for both ducks and teddy bears next time you boot up The Division 2. We now have our final indie guest, Thunder Lotus Games, who were the 2017 winner of the indie series that took place in Montreal. So let's find out more about the beautiful coziness of Spiritfarer in this next video.
Hey everybody, I'm Rodrigue, marketeer at Thunder Lotus.
Ok, a ver, muy buenas tardes amigos, les saludo a su amigo Logan y bienvenidos a este streaming de Ubisoft aquí en YouTube. Comencemos. Vamos a ver cuál es lo nuevo que nos traen. No se olviden que tienen que estar logueados porque si no, no van a poder ganarse el Watch Dogs 2 para PC, totalmente gratuito. Así que si por error cierras ahorita tu ventana, tu Uplay, ya te cagaste. No deja loguear. Estoy viendo en Twitter y en varios lugares que no pueden volver a loguearse. Así que yo de suerte está logueado en la página oficial de Ubisoft para poder recibir el premio, porque si no, si lo veo en YouTube de otro lado, no me lo dan.
Which we're calling a cozy management game about
Consigue tu copia gratuita.
You play Stella, the newly appointed ferry master to the deceased. And as Stella, you're going to build a boat, you're going to explore the world in search of spirit passengers seeking passage to the afterlife. You're going to spend relaxing quality time with them, you're going to create lasting memories, but ultimately you're going to have to learn how to say goodbye to your cherished friends. It's a game that's near and dear to our hearts and something really special. We can't wait to share it with the world later this year. So look for it soon on PC, on Xbox One, PS4, Nintendo Switch.
Lo más gracioso es que estoy logueado y hay un error de que no está logueado.
It is time for an update on our favorite motorcycle platformer with the insanity, pain, and triumph we all know and we all love. Trials Rising came out last year, but I think the team from our Red Link studio in Helsinki has a little surprise coming to the game for the fans of the franchise. So let's take a look.
A ver.
Hi, we're here today to introduce you to an exciting new endurance challenge coming to Trials Rising. But to make sure that we respect social distancing guidelines, Auntie and I decided to...
Do I fire the goose now?
What?
Vamos a poner esto por
Fire
acá.
the goose?
Fire!
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Gigatrack. Far from a remake of the classic track from Trials Evolution, this is an all-new journey across the world of Trials Rising.
Hay un problema para el login. Estoy viendo varios que no pueden loguearse ahí en Twitter. Hay que tener mucho cuidado, porque si no, no vas a poder tener el Watch Dogs.
By far, the longest track we've ever put in a Trials game. The Gigatrack will take you across many different environments, from the iconic...
Environment! Tell them about environment! Please!
Yeah, I was just... Maybe you want to tell them.
The Gigatrack is like life. It starts and it ends and it's long. Depends how you enjoy it. And also one secret thing. 4 tells transfer to 1.
Prepare for the ultimate test of Trials endurance. Gigatrack releases this Thursday, July 16th for the low price of...
If you tell them it's free!
You heard that right, riders. Gigatrack will be available for free to all Trials Rising players when it releases this Thursday.
Bueno, nosotros estamos desde hace rato, pero la huevada está que falla, así que hay que tener mucho cuidado. Espero que se vea y que se escuche todo bien. Lo bueno que ahí está con subtítulos, genial.
Now for our last game update, the Ghost Recon Breakpoint team is ready to share some details on their upcoming updates. AI teammates are coming to the game. Let's have a look at the trailer.
The time has come. AI teammates are back in Ghost Recon Breakpoint. And for all solo players, they're gonna be a game changer. Available at any point after you have reached Erewhon for the first time, Fury, Fix-It, and Vasily can be activated or dismissed at will. And from the beginning, you will be able to fully customize them. This customization includes all of the physical attributes, as well as gear, equipment, or even full costumes. Your teammates can be tweaked just as much as your main character. Just like Nomad, your teammates will adapt and react to the world of Aroa and its environments, and they will always follow your own behavior. If you decide to go stealth, they will equip silencers and crouch, or go prone when possible. But if you decide to go loud and open fire, they will stick by your side. When deployed, you can issue different orders to your teammates through the order wheel. There are 4 different orders you can give to your teammates. You can tell them to regroup on your location, to hold their current position,
no sé si se ve ahí,
to
pero
go
ahí
to
sale.
a specific location, and to
La
open fire
gente
on
tiene
nearby
problemas de login error.
These orders can be
No
given
se
at
pueden
any
loguear
time,
en Twitter, que
even
están
through your
renegando ahí.
binoculars
¿Cómo
and
voy a
drone.
ganarme el
Once
Watch
they
Dogs
approach
2
potential threats,
si no me
the
puedo
teammates will
loguear,
notify
Ubisoft?
you and
¿Qué
mark them
pasó, tío
automatically.
Ubisoft?
With a good look at your
No me
enemies,
puedo loguear y...
you will be able to set
Bueno,
up
no
a
puedo
sync shot where
repetir
each of
eso.
your teammates picks a target. You
Error
can even link
login.
it to your 3 sync shot drones
Salvajes de
for a simultaneous
pi y todo, ¿no?
7-target takedown.
Pi.
The teammates have
Váyanse a la
weapons equipped at all
Reddit y
times,
todo
a
eso. Ala, hay que
versatile
tener
assault
cuidado.
rifle to
¿Cómo van a
accommodate
reclamar
all
la gente
situations,
su
and a primary weapon that you will be able to find too.
Watch Dogs 2?
Indeed, apart from mark upgrades and passive bonuses, the full gunsmith is accessible to your teammates.
A mí me sale que estoy logueado en la
And their
página,
weapon of
pero
choice will have
no
a
puedo
direct
comentar.
effect on the battleground.
Espero que no sea
Depending
otro
on the
bug
type
de
of weapon
Ubisoft.
they have equipped,
Estamos
the
acostumbrados a
teammates
esos
will
bugs.
adapt their engagement distance and rate of fire, from close distance shotgun wielding all the way to long
Que ahí sale en el
distance
mío, no sé
sniper
si se
shots.
ve.
Of course, if you get
Ah, no,
taken
pero
down,
acá,
your
bueno.
teammates' priority will be to try and rescue you. To achieve that, they will first focus their fire on the surrounding enemies before getting to you. And they will expect the same from you, especially as you will be able to carry them to safety if the situation requires it.
Igual vamos a esperar, ¿no?
Finally, the teammates will
Ya
also
saben,
be
tienen
your
que ver en la
best
página
allies in any
oficial,
vehicle,
estar logueados,
especially on the
abrir su
road
Uplay
during
de su
high-stakes
PC
pursuits. The teammates will
y
be
loguearse
available for
también en la
all
página
solo Ghost
oficial,
Recon
porque si no, no vas a poder
Breakpoint
tener el Watch
on
Dogs
July
2.
15th, and we
Está todo
cannot
fregado.
wait to see your reactions. We'll see you on the battlefield, Ghosts.
No me puedo loguear, hijos de su... ¡Hala, mierda! La gente está asada. La gente está asada.
Hey Ghosts, I'm Grace from the Ghost Recon team. As you've just seen, the AI teammates are finally landing in Ghost Recon Breakpoint with our next
Se
major
cayó la
update
página,
on
no puedo
July
iniciar
15th.
sesión, no puedo
Alongside
iniciar
the AI
sesión, no puedo
teammates,
entrar a la
this update
conferencia,
comes
no
with a
puedo
ton of
ver,
new
no
content,
me
including a
carga.
gunsmith upgrade,
Error.
new PvP content, quality of life updates, and more. You will be able to try it all during our next free weekend from July 16th to July 20th. But that's not
No
all.
se puede
We've got one
loguear,
last
no
thing to
puedo
show you.
iniciar sesión, me
Enjoy,
cerró la
and we'll see
sesión
you on
y
the
ahora no
road,
puedo
Ghosts.
volver. Llevo 1 hora y media intentando entrar. ¡Hala!
This is Haruhi Ito, speaking for the outcasts.
Hablando de bugs en Ubisoft. Hola, ¿aquí hay bugs? ¿Aquí? ¿En Ubisoft? Oye, no lo creo, viejo.
We call on all of Aroa to join us. Separated,
No lo
Sentinel
creo,
wins.
viejo.
But united, we cannot be defeated.
Ese central lo escuché en un PES. Creo que en el 2011 o el 2010. En 2011 creo que es. En un
And
tráiler,
now,
¿no?
our very final video for this pre-show is another episode of our wow moments comparing the craziest and coolest clips from you, our players.
¿Cómo voy a tener mi copia gratuita, Ubisoft?
Anyone else want to try to do better than that?
No se puede iniciar sesión. Saludos para el Refebe, ¿cómo está? No se puede iniciar sesión, algunos no pueden. Sale error. Y casi nadie va a tener el Watch Dogs 2. ¿Cómo vamos a tener el Watch Dogs 2? No se puede iniciar sesión. Supuestamente yo he iniciado en la página. Estoy logueado, ahí sale mi icono de logueado. Pero no puedo comentar. No sé si la weá se ha bugueado también y también no me lo van a dar, no lo sé. Yo estoy desde temprano. Lo he dejado ahí logueado para no moverlo, ¿no? No vaya a ser que la weá no deje entrar. Por eso esta página no la cierro ni loco.
So there's a line that people want me to yell.
Está bien la calidad, ¿no? Vamos a ver.
But I can't usually do it because I'll freak out my neighbors.
80,
but
60.
as you can see, I'm at the Crashing Ocean Beach, and there's no one too close. So, reloading! Fuck, someone saw me. I gotta go.
Ok. Eso fue un poco incómodo, pero bueno. Ay, guitarrita, ya, con la guitarra me convenció. Mira, está tocando con los dedos del pie. La chica la hace, ¿eh? Con los pies está tocando.
If you also have amazing gameplay segments you captured from our games, spread the joy and submit them on the link displayed on your screen right now. All right, guys, it is time for us to wrap up this pre-show.
Don't forget to stay tuned for our post-show featuring a deep dive into the world of Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Thanks a lot for watching this pre-show and enjoy Ubisoft Forward.
Okay. Debería darnos a todos las copias gratuitas porque no, hay un error de login. Ok, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Comienza. Peggy 18.
This is Ubisoft. This is Ubisoft.
Vamos a poner esto para acá abajito. Saludos para el Cris Silencio, ¿cómo está, causita? Buenas noches, buenas tardes. Buenas tardes. ¿Se pudieron loguear? ¿Les dejó loguearse a ustedes? En Twitter la gente está volando.
Hi everyone, I'm Neelam Kumar and I'm very excited to be co-hosting the first Ubisoft
Y aquí yo soy Logan, su otro copresentador.
Today's show is all about getting up close and in depth with all the exciting games we have in production here at Ubisoft.
Así es.
I'm Yusuf, but there's no time to waste. So let's head straight for the streets of futuristic London and see what the hackers of DedSec are getting into.
Muy bien, Yusuf, tú también. Entre los tres vamos a hablar sobre la conferencia. Yo soy la versión en español, obviamente. Watch Dogs Legion.
Authorities recommend not to approach the individual.
First, they came for the foreigners, and I did not speak out because I was not.
¡Hala, mira los chaparros! Ahí está. No se puede loguear, no se puede loguear. Ok, loco, no quiso pagar.
Then
Y
they
saltó.
came for the protesters, and I did not speak out because I was not a protester.
Ok, muy a lo Spider-Man, Into the Spider-Verse. Se me ve algo así, ¿no? Como la película de Spider-Man.
And then they came for street artists, but I did not speak out because I am not a street artist.
Sí, me hace recordar mucho al Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Igualito. Todas las escenas.
And I realised that eventually they'd come for me. And there would be no one left to speak for me.
Sorry, miss. Jesus! All right, so we're in a total mess now, so let's get the hell out of here.
And there's nothing more debilitating than that. Right. This way, not to be able to do what you're passionate about.
After a long night, London is in chaos. The main arteries through the city are blocked. Hundreds of heavily armed Albion...
Well. Welcome to the Resistance. Here's a welcome gift for our new members.
But the disappearance of the criminal...
You could have told me it was a bloody costume party.
Try it on.
The new key suspect has been identified as David Ford, a 43-year-old London taxi driver. He has no criminal record, but is currently believed to be a terrorist. People have been asked not to approach him. The authorities advise all residents...
Reclama tu futuro. Sí, tan algo. No digo que es la gran cosa, pero
I'm Clint Hawking.
Tan algo.
Clint has been a longtime creative force here at Ubisoft, and now he's bringing this vision to Watch Dogs Legion.
So yeah, what we just saw was an amazing short film by the director Elgo that was inspired by Watch Dogs Legion and looks at the game and the universe and the characters through his incredible artistic vision and visual style.
The city needs a resistance.
Like the film, Watch Dogs Legion tells the story of ordinary heroes setting aside their differences in order to come together as a collective and to fight for a positive change. You can literally recruit and play anyone who you see in the open world. You profile people that are interesting to you, you help them with their problem, you play their origin mission.
Just help me get some closure and I'll do whatever you want.
Sounds like a DedSec problem. Leave it to us.
And that's how you recruit them into your team. And then they become the heroes of the game and the stars of your story.
And what are you doing in my flat? You with Albion?
Please, think more underground.
You with Albion?
I'm tickled, but think more underground.
What, DedSec? Yeah, right, and I'm Che Guevara. You're done.
And they make the story not only, unique to them, but unique to you as the player and personal to you because they're, heroes that you've chosen and invested in. What would I say to fans? I guess I'd say, take care of yourselves, stay safe. Welcome to the Resistance.
Hay que darle una oportunidad, ¿por qué no?
London town. A modern metropolis. Built on history.
Esta es una reacción real, Esta es una reacción real de alguien que compra sus juegos a la reacción de alguien que le regalan los juegos. ¡Oh, tu juego es lo máximo! Vendidos de mierda. Vamos para allá. Es diferente, ¿no?
With London under attack by a mysterious terrorist, the government turns to a private military company called Albion to keep everyone safe. What could possibly go wrong?
Toma, pinche máquina por no dejar like.
Mr. Nigel Cass, CEO of Albion. He's kindly stepped up to establish order.
No a los vendidos.
I will not allow anyone, not even myself.
Fuera, mierda, toma payasazo.
He will stop at nothing to permanently control the city.
London will be the first city in the world to be made truly safe.
Nigel's not the only opportunist who's taken a liking to this fair city. Meet Mary Kelly, head of the most powerful crime syndicate in London.
Be sure and spread the word.
She and her goons are using the dark web to sell everything from party pills to people.
This microchip is scary, I know, but I got to keep tracks on my merchandise, don't I?
You made me a slave.
Oh, ¿qué le metió ahí atrás? Ah.
With the city out on its ass, it now falls on you to build a resistance and take back London.
Escucha, qué elegante.
All right, everyone. Faces on, guns out.
Any of the brave Londoners you see walking the streets can be recruited into your team. Like him.
Toma, payasazo.
Or even her.
¿La abuelita? Yo quiero jugar con la abuelita.
Everyone could become your next secret weapon. In our first mission, we need to get some dirt on Nigel Cass, and that means breaking into Albion headquarters inside the Tower of London. All the hardy souls you see here are people we have recruited from the streets of London. They all have unique abilities, and you're free to tackle this mission with whoever you like.
Dear God, my eyes. Badly. Zip up, get to work, and let's never talk about this again.
¿Va a orinar? Ah, ya.
Like everyone in DedSec, Arthur can hack pretty much whatever. But as a construction worker, he has a particular set of tools that make him handy.
Oh, toma, payasazo.
He can even call his own cargo drone. Perfect for gate crashing when you're not invited.
Watch Dogs 2. No, este es Watch Dogs Legion. Watch Dogs Legion. Legion. ¿Cómo quieras decirlo?
Jesus Christ, what is that thing?
Perhaps we could approach this mission differently. If you'd rather keep your distance, we've got you covered. Amy is a drone expert.
What have we here?
A real tech connoisseur.
Hate spiders, but love this one.
What an adorable creepy crawler.
Here we are. Let's class the place up.
A drone expert does have the unique ability to summon their own drone. This little darling is fast and stealthy.
She aimed, she fired, she hit.
I'm reading incoming drones.
She can also hack enemy drones, turning the tide in her favor. And if you are not into direct confrontation, there are more ways than one to get the job done. Recruiting an Albion officer like Brielle here might be challenging, but it'll get you inside restricted Albion areas.
Don't mind me, just doing recon for a bunch of insurgents.
However, do anything suspicious and she'll probably wind up with a bullet in the back of her head.
You've been approved for entry.
We're missing the human element here. I can get the Defense Minister on the line right now.
Well, if you feel you must.
A que le volaron la cabezota.
Criminals running our streets. Illegals threatening our families. The police commissioner himself. Assassinated by terrorists.
Well, that seems to be enough evidence. Next up, we're crashing Mary Kelly's organ farming operation and putting a stop to it.
That's good. The buyers expect high quality stuff.
And we need a hard nut for this.
Impairing our frontal lobe again, are we?
Bags, don't disturb me in my natural habitat.
Say hello to Mickey. The man lives for his team.
Like putting another hair on my chest.
And doesn't mind getting his hands dirty.
Uy, esa canción me la van a meter bien rica con el copy.
He does have a slight drinking problem, though. And he's passed out. We'll come back to him. You know what? Let's go with someone a bit more professional.
Saludo para Gabo Reyes, ¿cómo estás? No deja iniciar sesión, así es, a nadie le deja iniciar sesión. Y si has iniciado sesión, te quita de tu sesión, es una huevada. Ubisoft siempre haciendo la cagada.
Some might even call him an artist. Here's the bastard responsible. Done and dusted.
Not bad if I do say so, innit?
Not everyone in London is a legendary assassin or a super spy, but everyone can be a hero. So get out
Ni siquiera en el Uplay puedes iniciar sesión. En la página no puedes iniciar sesión. Supuestamente yo estoy iniciando sesión, pero no me carga nada. No me carga la store, no me carga nada. No puedo ver ni siquiera mis juegos. Watch Dogs Legion. El 29 de octubre.
Plunging the player into a living, breathing city teeming with unique locales and characters has always been a central pillar of the Watch Dogs series.
So what goes into building those worlds? Here's Amanda Munt to tell us more.
Está bien, hablemos con el creador. Él nos va a decir más.
My name's Amanda Munt. I'm a level artist on Watch Dogs Legion at Ubisoft Toronto. Being a level artist, I think, is the coolest job in video games because we do get the freedom to kind of like pick and choose what little details we want to depict, and we get ample opportunities to tell the stories that we want to tell in the spaces that we're assigned to. I have the capacity to hide things and, you know, like small little Easter eggs. In AC Unity, there was a boat somewhere in the world that was covered in cats.
No, el Unity es hermoso.
And then it happened again in Watch Dogs 2, and there may or may not be something in London that is a boat filled with cats in some capacity. So I was fortunate enough to go to E3 last year. Some of the people that I was showing our demo to were from London. So no matter where I dropped them in the city, they would go, oh my God, this feels like Camden. This, you know, this feels like Southwark. This feels like Westminster. When people are talking about some detail that I've put into the world and they're excited about it, like that feels so good as somebody who, you know, builds these worlds with care. I love it.
No carga nadie, ¿no? No carga nada, ni los drops en Twitch no cargan nada, así que de nada sirve que estés viendo en otro lado porque igual no te vas a tener nada. Qué onda, de verdad.
And now some news for Brawlhalla fans. In just a few weeks, you'll be able to battle it out with your favorite legends on iOS and Android devices.
Gracias por el follow. Los tarda 12. ¿Cómo estás? Hello, hello. Welcome. Brawlhalla, a ver. ¿Qué no está de nuevo el Brawlhalla? Llega para iOS y Android. Este yo lo tengo en mi Play 4, lo tengo en PC. Bueno, ahora lo tendremos en Android también. Crossplay. ¿En qué cuenta lo tengo más alto mis niveles? Creo que en la de Play, creo. O no, en la de PC, en la de Steam. El 6 de agosto sale para celulares. Tapiola. Free skin.
And now, whether you need a Tom Clancy action fix on the go, or want to dive back into one of the most beloved fantasy franchises in gaming, we've got you covered.
Ubisoft.
Sí, por favor.
Este es el juego de las cartitas, creo, ¿no? Cartitas mágicas. No soy mucho de juegos de cartas en lo personal, me aburren, pero de repente a alguien le debe de gustar este juego, ¿no? Juegos así, cartas o MOBA. Era de caos. Might Magic.
Target is being held on the ground floor.
¿Qué clase de Fortnite es este? Muchas gracias. El bajadón, causitas. La rica papita rellena. Ay, Dios mío. ¿Qué más se puede pedir? Ver el evento de Ubisoft, tener bugs con no poder loguearlo.
Contact! Montaigne is down. Request air support. Target northeast rooftop.
Roger. Inbound. Danger close.
Boom.
I need an EMP deployed now.
EMP imminent.
Tiene el estilo visual como Fortnite, ¿no? O como Team Fortress.
Get back in your cell!
¿Ese no era Sam Fisher? Igualito, ¿no?
Hey, take this.
Don't make me regret this.
Piola, me hizo recordar a Sam Fisher. Elite Squad. Se ve piola. Para Android.
Speaking of Tom Clancy, it's been 5 years since Rainbow Six Siege first launched, and the community has never been stronger. In celebration of this milestone, Ubisoft Montreal has put together a special video to thank all of the amazing players and developers that have helped Siege become the game it is today.
Rainbow Six Siege.
In December 2015, a small team released Rainbow Six Siege.
Siege, ok, así se pronuncia ya primero.
A game built on a strong vision, creativity, competitiveness, and team play.
Pour le joueur, le 1er décembre, c'est un début, mais pour nous aussi. Il faut tout de suite s'engager.
Los subtítulos dice, habla en francés.
Tu peux t'y installer aussi, et nous serons là.
That original vision was quickly adopted by our passionate community, propelling it to a whole new level.
If you haven't tried it yet, dive into our new Operation Steel Wave update available now and take Ace and Malusi out for a spin.
A few days ago,
Hay una
we introduced y'all to a
peruana, ¿no?
brand new multiplayer
Sacaron
shooter.
una operadora peruana.
Now, it's time to venture into the hyperscape.
Hyperscape, a ver qué tal es.
What was that? A hack in the hyperscape. That's not supposed to be there. Let me get you all up to speed, okay? About 30 years ago, everything that we feared about our future started to come true. We made some good decisions. We made some bad decisions. Actually, we made a lot of bad decisions. So, here we are. 10
El mundo
billion
después de la
souls
pandemia.
living in the crush of the megacities. But the people at Prisma changed everything.
Están taladrando, creo,
They
no sé qué
gave
están haciendo.
everyone a way out. The Hyperscape. In the Hyperscape, the biggest draw by far is Crown Rush. This is where anyone can become someone.
Por chistoso. ¿Otro Battle Royale? Parece, ¿no?
If you get good at Crown Rush, it can change your life. But strange things have been happening lately. Rumors of people getting hurt. Users disappearing from the real world. A darker secret lies at the heart of Hyperscape. And we have to find it. Some of us are searching for a way up. Some of us for a way out. And for others, a new way altogether. That's what brings us to the edge of the future. To the Hyperscape.
I'm JC, Creative Director on Hyperscape.
JC's work on Far Cry Primal and multiple Prince of Persia titles has established him as a top creative here at Ubisoft.
For me, what's exciting is we started building it from scratch. Seeing it grow, adding ideas is really cool.
Hello, contender. Welcome to the Hyperscape.
The game takes place in 2054. It's in a future where humanity has grown a little darker. One of the companies there, they are launching what's called the Hyperscape, which is a virtual world and the internet of the future. It's the place where everything converges. Within the virtual world,
yo me pregunto qué le pasará a los que
the
desaparecen. Justamente dijeron que hay personas en el mundo real desaparecen. ¿Qué les pasan a ellos?
Then we also introduce a lot of new things. You get the opportunity to do parkour on the rooftops, to go into interiors where it's much more narrow, much more stressful. You get to go to the landmarks where there's more opportunities to get cool items, but also more players, so it's a risk-reward kind of deal. We introduce the notion of hacks, special abilities that you can pick up on the fly to adapt your tactics. With hacks, you can do things like teleport yourself, you can wrap yourself into a ball and bounce around the battlefield. So a lot of abilities that let you have fun, that are toys that you can play with. And finally, it's made as a spectacle, so all the viewers will be able to interact with the game on different levels through the Twitch extension. So every few minutes, there's going to be a vote, and viewers will be able to decide what effect they want to affect the whole battle. So things like changing the gravity, infinite ammo, or stuff like that. So players, while this happens, really have to adapt to all kinds of stuff that is happening. So for me, it's really exciting because right now, as we speak, we're launching the open beta, and so it's going to be available for free-to-play for all PC players worldwide. And I really want to thank all the players, all the streamers, and all the viewers who participated in tech test and who will participate in the open beta. Here's a short glimpse of what you can expect.
Watch and learn how it's done. Perfecto.
Showtime.
Mine. Let's show them what I'm made of.
No, ya, me dieron mi código de verificación, a ver.
Go time.
Watch closely. Here we
Here we
go.
go.
この調子。
No, no arreglan nada los de Ubisoft.
The digital world of the Hyperscape gave our artists and developers incredible freedom when it came to designing characters.
Production manager Ana Maria Musca is going to take us behind the scenes of character design.
My name is Ana Maria Musca. I'm the production manager for characters and weapons on Hyperscape. We have paid an exceptional amount of detail to our characters. We switch different outfits, different fashion statements, different tattoos, different materials until we see them as real individuals, as real people. So the second you pick a character, you see them in game, you understand what their motivations are and what drives them and what challenges them. This was the first lineup of characters. This is our default base, but even starting from the hair down, everything has been meticulously thought of. Would this person actually like this type of outfit? Would this person enjoy the type of tattoos that we're putting on them? Will they actually like to be in this body? Each season, we plan to produce new outfits for these characters. So we're hoping some of our players are going to see the effort and maybe even correlate some of the accessories to what's going to happen in the game. We're very excited to see it in people's hands.
No le doy mucha vida, pero
As we move into the next generation of
puede durar
gaming,
hasta la tercera temporada,
Ubisoft has
capaz.
been working closely with console makers to take advantage of all the extraordinary capabilities these new consoles will offer.
Now we have a special guest to tell us a little more.
Hey everyone, Phil Spencer from Xbox. With Watch Dogs Legion, Ubisoft is supporting smart delivery. So you will get the absolute best version of the game on any version of Xbox you're playing on. On Series X, you'll get to take advantage of the amazing work the team has done with DirectX ray tracing to create an absolutely immersive version of London like you've never seen before. Ubisoft has a unique ability to create immersive worlds, setting a new bar that continues to drive our industry forward. I'm a huge fan of Assassin's Creed. I love the time I've spent exploring the world in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and I can't wait for you to see the gameplay from Assassin's Creed Valhalla that's coming up now.
All right, we know you've been waiting to hear more about this game since it was announced back in April. And now it's time for a deep dive into the world of Vikings.
My name is Julien Laferrière, and I'm the producer of Assassin's Creed Valhalla. So a couple of weeks ago, we announced Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and the reaction from the fans was just amazing. The time period of Vikings is really,
Lo único que me gustó del trailer es que
inspiring.
salió la hoja oculta, que si no hubiera sido otra huevada
We
más.
found that, they were not mindless barbarians. Vikings were actually farmers trying to find new lands for them to settle. And so they had really human motivations. So for us to have this opportunity to tell kind of the real story about Vikings and kind of separate ourselves from the myths
Mientras
and
no
the
sea como
folklore
Odyssey,
is really something
Origins,
that drove us to make this game. The team went to Norway and England to take the same roads that the Vikings did to really experience what it
Saludos
meant
para
to be a
Valentine.
Viking at that
El juego no se
And
puede
then
loguear.
leaving Norway, which is
Supuestamente yo estoy
barren
logueado,
but
pero no puedo
majestic,
reclamarlo
and just
porque me pide
coming
loguearme
by
otra vez.
boat
Y
in
lógico.
England and see those rolling green hills full of sheep, full of life, is just this moment that most likely the Vikings felt as well. You need to see this land of opportunity. And this is exactly the feeling we want players to experience in this game. It is a personal adventure.
Todos los trailers son bonitos de Ubisoft, pero después el
Viking
gameplay
chieftain.
es diferente, muy diferente al trailer.
Eivor is either a male or a female. You decide when you start the game. They will have to leave Norway to settle in England because
Así lo que yo necesito es gameplay,
There's too much
jugabilidad.
political pressure, no resources available.
No más trailers.
Obviously, in England, it's full of Anglo-Saxons and other people, and they don't really want you there. So you will have to fight your way there to kind of build your own settlement and see your clan prosper. Vikings were brutal warriors.
Shields!
And the fact that they were mastering a lot of weapons coming from the medieval times really inspired us to kind of revamp the fight system, to leverage the brutality and the intensity of Viking combat. Vikings were not only fighting face-to-face, they were masters of stealth and deception when needed. They used basically any sort of tactics they could use to win the battle. So we want to portray the full range of combat that you can imagine coming from the Vikings.
Eso fue lo único que me emocionó, la hoja oculta.
We are very happy to finally be able to show you the game we've all been working on. So please enjoy this deep dive into Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
A ver, al fin. Gameplay, gracias. Lo que no mostraron en la conferencia de Mirbox.
In Assassin's Creed Valhalla, you will relive the epic saga of the Viking invasion of England. You play as Eivor, a Viking from Norway, who will lead his or her battle-hardened warriors across the North Sea to the British Isles. Eivor is driven by an ambitious goal, to build a thriving Norse settlement in a hostile land.
For the good of our clan, it is time we go a Viking.
¿Ves que es diferente a la trailer?
Tomorrow we may build.
England is a dark age tangle of broken kingdoms and warring dynasties, a land of opportunity and riches. As you prowl England's rivers by longship, you may raid locations you spot from the shoreline. Ground your ship and blow your horn to lead your raiding crew into battle.
Mira esa iluminación, mira esa oscuridad, esas sombras.
Your crew will assist you in all your raids, fighting enemies, battering down doors, and stealing cargo too heavy for one set of arms. Whatever riches and resources you pillage may be used to develop your settlement, giving you access to useful services, better tools, and new settlers. At the heart of your settlement is the Alliance map. It will serve as a record of the allies you have made, and a guide for future opportunities. The Viking Age was a time of warriors and legends. In Valhalla, you will find the largest variety of enemies ever assembled in an Assassin's Creed game. Every archetype offers a unique challenge. Some will coordinate with their allies for special attacks, while others will use nearby objects to their advantage, including
Tenemos que tener en cuenta que es un vikingo, ¿no? Los vikingos no son tan sigilosos.
You must find and exploit your opponent's weaknesses to gain the upper hand. Take the fight to your foes with a host of brutal new combat abilities. Snare them with a Viking harpoon. Pummel them with throwing axes.
La soga esa.
Incapacitate them with the new stun system to keep them at a distance, or finish them off.
Ejecuciones.
Dual wield any two weapons you wish to unleash a deadly combination of attacks. Customize your fighting style as you see fit, and become a legendary Viking warrior.
¿Los asesinatos con la hoja oculta? Sí, soy muy quisquilloso, pero me gusta la hoja oculta. Barra de vida. Oh, esa muerte la he visto en Sombras de Mordor.
A Viking must find a way to adapt.
Ese tipo de asesinato, cuando matas a los orcos.
As Eivor is not welcome in England.
Igualito.
You may need to outsmart your enemies, avoiding unwanted attention in towns and bustling cities. Use Eivor's hood and cloak to blend with crowds, and slip past watchful eyes. An unseen hunter among the people.
No quiero decir que se están copiando, pero lo vi igualito, ¿no? La ejecución.
To the dense forests and rolling hills of England, exploration is vital to keeping yourself sharp. You must feed off the land if you hope to endure.
Podemos pescar, nadar, atrapar lobos gigantes. A la miércoles.
Search pagan temples and Roman ruins for new activities and challenges to strengthen yourself and your settlement.
Esa vaina me hizo recordar al God of War.
The more you explore, the more of England's secrets you will reveal.
Ravens, show no mercy!
But as you push deeper into England, the enemy will push back. In a series of climactic moments, Assassin's Creed Valhalla will feature massive assaults in which you will lead Eivor's army into battle against heavily guarded Saxon fortresses.
Today we will reclaim her. Today we fight for your land. And tomorrow
¿Vamos a jugar con ella?
Assassin's Creed Valhalla will transport you to wondrous and haunted lands.
Parece que ella va a ser la protagonista.
It will challenge and surprise with unforgettable characters, thrilling triumphs, and tragic losses,
ella va a ser la protagonista.
giving you the chance to live your own Viking saga.
Oh, qué rico. Otra vez. ¿Ella será la hija del otro pata que sale en el tráiler? No lo sé, no lo sabe. Puede ser su hija, ¿no? Que lo mataron y va a cobrar venganza. Ok, una mujer vikinga.
9th century England is truly unlike anything the franchise has seen before. Assassin's Creed Valhalla will release this holiday season on Xbox Series X, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, PS4, PC, and Stadia.
We're close to wrapping up today, but before we go, our CEO, Yves Guillemot, is here to share a few words.
No se puede loguear, ¿no?
I hope you will have enjoyed what you have seen today, and that you will love playing these games. I am proud of our teams for delivering an ambitious, broad, and creative lineup of games. And we haven't shown you everything yet. In fact, we have a lot more to come. So you will have another Ubisoft Forward to reveal even more about our upcoming games. But before ending this show, we have one more thing to share with you.
No, no es este. No deja loguearse, ¿no? Mantenimiento. Uy, se movió. Tama, se movió, disculpe. Voy a ver si lo puedo arreglar. Voy a quitar el overlay. Creo que sí se movió esto. Vamos a arreglarlo ahí. Tiene que salir Ubisoft Forward. ¿Dónde está? Ya entré a la Uplay, aplicación me manda una web y no veo, puedo loguearme. Ah, sí, qué salado. A mí me sale error. Me dice que está en mantenimiento. Esta página está temporalmente deshabilitada. Todos recibiréis drops, no hayáis podido conectaros a vuestra cuenta, simplemente relajados y disfrutar del show. ¡Yeah! Igual no lo van a dar, dice. ¿A qué queda esperar nomás?
Fuerzas ultrapenetrantes, estamos
¡Hey, copyright! Ok.
It's beautiful, Migo. Perfect, but useless. I have something for you, Diego. Give me your hands.
Papa.
Now, the grenade is simple. It has 4 basic parts. The shell, which contains the explosive, the fuse, the handle, and of course, the pin.
No se parece a Arno.
What are you doing?
Breathe, Diego. Breathe. The pin simply holds the handle in place. It is only when you let go that this grenade goes boom. Follow me.
¿Qué vas a hacer, viejo sopero?
Now. I am El Presidente, which means that someday you will be El Presidente.
El Presidente.
They do not know how to be happy.
Hello, hello, hello.
Torn apart by opinions, noise, indecision, strangled by their own freedoms. And even if you have love in your heart, even if you want what's best for them, if you only want to save them from themselves, they will hate you, Diego. Everything you say, do, believe, will be wrong.
Uy, casi se le suelta la granada. Saludos para el plan 40, gracias por el follow. Los pollos hermanos.
They will answer you with screams. Call you evil. A monster. And give you this.
Muerte a Castillo.
So you tell me, are you evil? Are you
Libertad.
a monster? Because our country is like this grenade, except it has 2 basic parts. Our people. And you must clutch them nice and tight, or we all go boom.
No, este juego se va a ver espectacular. Pero es el tráiler, falta el gameplay.
You understand now? Prove it.
El 18 de febrero del 2021. Se va a ver bueno.
And with that, we're wrapping up our first Ubisoft Forward. Today, we've seen the next generation of Assassin's Creed, the birth of a resistance in Watch Dogs Legion, the cyber chaos of Hyperscape, and the epic reveal of Far Cry's newest installment, along with so much more.
Remember, we'll be back later this year with another Ubisoft Forward filled with tons of game news and updates.
Thanks for joining us.
Ok. Lo único que puedo decir es que el tráiler del Far Cry 6 espectacular. Genial. Ok. 10 de 10. pero falta ver gameplay. Un tráiler no puede decir todo. Igual que el tráiler del Valhalla y el gameplay como que...
We're going to take a deep dive into about 30 minutes of gameplay, and we're joined by a very special guest here.
Una cosa es verlo en video y otra cosa es jugarlo tú mismo. Son dos cosas muy diferentes.
I am the quest director on Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
So Fizz, we're setting up here for what looks like an epic encounter. Tell us exactly what's going on here.
Yeah, so here we're midway through the quest that we're showing for UB Forward. Here we're looking at the assault of Bird Castle. So these are big moments that usually sort of culminate at the end of the story. And so here Eivor, Viking Raider, is taking a group of raiders and Fyrds into Bird Castle to go and take down Rued and his clan.
So who exactly is Rued, and why does Eivor sort of want to pick a fight with him?
Basically, Rued comes into play about halfway through this story arc, where at the beginning of the arc, this is something that happens before, Rued basically caused a lot of turmoil within the territory, and Oswald, who's the sort of elderman to inherit this territory, needs your help to take him down. Oswald having just been defeated in a previous quest, and so here this is revenge, but also accomplishing your ultimate goal.
So Fizz, as you're talking, we're seeing some of the combat of Valhalla. Can you tell us a little bit about the changes to combat this time around?
B1 de 2.0 en este juego.
Add a lot of new mechanics to it. So we added like some dual wielding for the player, like a stun system in there. And we really needed to do this to sort of portray that sort of the brutality that comes with being a Viking in this day and age. So it sort of fits into that the time.
No sé, extraño los Assassin's Creed de antes. Fácilmente pudo haber sido otro juego de vikingos y hubiera quedado genial. Meterle a Assassin's Creed como que...
Oswald, he lives.
Oswald lives!
Eivor, is that you? Shut your ass, twig spine.
Here, Eivor has taken her entire army through the assault, and finally it's revealed that our Elderman, our ally, Oswald, is still alive, and Rued has him captive.
So this is what it comes to, Wolfkist? 2 Danes fighting over a filthy Saxon whoreson? If this swine is your prize,
So now that we've seen that Oswald is alive, we have Rued within our sights. What's the next step here?
So the next move for Eivor is to finally face off against Rued. She has her allies; they can take care of the rest of the army.
El Origins
now it's time
o
to
el
go
Odyssey,
one-on-one against
le llega a gustar este, ¿no? Yo no he jugado el Origins ni el Odyssey porque no me llaman de verdad la atención para nada. Para mí parecen otros juegos, pero no tienen nada de Assassin's Creed y este como que no sé.
Going and facing off against Rued aggressively, but we tend to always have to support a 360-degree approach in these things. So the player could have approached us a little bit more stealthily and gotten at least like a good critical hit.
Pudo llamarse tranquilamente Valhalla
and so you can play
y
this
hubiera quedado bueno.
Strategically if that's your playstyle.
No sé por qué Assassin's Creed.
So we're not only fighting Rued here, but also his pet wolf,
no tiene nada.
Here, one of my preferred strategies is to eliminate the wolf first. Just focus fire on him.
No
it takes at least one opponent
out
of the combat. Now Rued will have
el otro pudo llamarse no sé qué, Esparta, Romano, Viegos.
Having one opponent less in the battlefield
y el otro simplemente Odisea y hubiera quedado un juegazo. Pero al meterle a Assassin's Creed es lo que me hace que no me gusten. Usan mucho el nombre para llamar la atención.
Valhalla is my destiny. That fate will not be met today. Riders, they should be roomed, wolf-kissed. Made thralls, not treated as equals. We are better than this, than all of them.
Do not drag me down to the sewage.
No me molesta para nada que la protagonista sea mujer. Eso no me tiene sin cuidado. Hombre, mujer, blanco, negro, lo que sea. La cosa es que sea un buen personaje, que tenga buena trama y buen trasfondo. Capaz es la hija del pata que sale en el trailer, ¿no? Su hermana, su esposa, ¿qué carajo será? Tengo curiosidad.
And so you basically have to choose, are you going to go against his wishes or stay true to your nature?
So we have this choice to make, but before we get into that, I want to rewind a little bit because we just did this big, grand assault, but Eivor couldn't have done it alone. She clearly had to recruit some folks along the way, get some troops, get some allies. So let's actually rewind and see how we went about first gathering those troops.
Right, so when coming up to an assault, it's a game of numbers. Eivor can go into pretty much any location and be a stealthy Viking, eliminating some of the assets, which ultimately would be a strategy. You can do that, and you'll have some of the ingredients or of the assets there that will have been sabotaged, but you still need an army. So here what we're seeing is Eivor going around the countryside and raising what we call a fyrd, which is the men and the women of the territory who come up and fight in the name of a king. So here Eivor is going around and trying to convince people to fight in the name of Oswald to finally take down the oppressor that is Rued.
Defending East Anglia, defending you. Will you not do the same?
What? Die in defense of a lost cause?
Yeah, so she's really using like the image and like the leadership that Oswald had, what he meant to the people in his name. She's going to recruit these people.
Pretty words, Dane. But the men of Theovard have their own battles to fight.
So we're told by this Reeve that there are troops, there are allies that he could add to our cause. But first we sort of need to do him a favor, is that right?
Yeah, so obviously these people have been run down by Rued and the impact he's had on the territory, so I think a lot of these people have sort of lost hope. And so you need to show them that there is hope. And so here Eivor is basically helping them take back one of their prize locations by taking a couple men and raiding a nearby township, basically taking it back for the people and showing that there's a reason to continue fighting and then get them on your side.
Ok, ya me carga el Uplay, nada más.
When Eivor does this, obviously you have access to a full suite of abilities. So again, the improvements that we've done to the fight system. You have some brutal axe throwing in there. You have archery or like range combat abilities in there as well. So really, again, like depending on what your playstyle is, you can customize your loadout and go in there how you wish.
Fizz, we just saw this giant pulse go out. What exactly was that?
So that is what we call the Odin sight. The Odin sight is basically our interpretation of the eagle vision from previous games, and we thought it was good to sort of bring that back. It's basically Eivor's intuition. It's how she perceives the world. When player uses that, it'll highlight basically interactive objects, like things that will bring her an advantage. So we'll have arrows, like health consumables that are in there. So it really is like a good way of sort of understanding the world and showing you like things that you can go and touch.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of things we can touch, we just picked up this awesome new weapon.
It's something we wanted to play with on
Me quedo con intriga del trailer de Far Cry 6,
where we have fewer weapons in the game, but you can invest in them more, so they become your weapon. And so depending what your preferred playstyle is or your preferred weapon type, then you can go and choose. I'm gonna fight with this weapon and invest heavily into that.
Not only are we looting weapons, but we see something here.
Es cuestión de ver el gameplay nomás de
Can you tell
Far
us a little
Cry
bit more
6.
about that?
They unlock skills for the player. So here you can see the Valkyrie dive that has just been unlocked. We have
tiene, bueno, lo de siempre, ¿no? Levelear,
exploration and discovery.
barra de salud enemigos, niveles.
Explore locations. You can find these books that will add abilities that you can go and invest in, put into your loadout, then go into the different locations with the different quests in the game and use those depending on what your playstyle is.
Now we've recaptured this village, we've secured more troops for our assault. Let's jump back now and figure out what we want to do with Rued.
Will die, will live.
The rightful king of East Anglia has spared your life today. And
Dependiendo
so
de lo que tú elijas, cambia la historia. O solamente lo que le pase al que tú elijas nomás.
Compassion is a virtue suited for anyone, Eivor, including you. Thank you.
Eivor decided to let him live. Rued is really angry about that. Being a Norse Viking, being put to the death in battle is your road to Valhalla. So he was basically denied access to Valhalla in this situation. Obviously, all of these decisions come into play later on in the game, so we have very difficult decisions for the player to make. We didn't want to have easy decisions.
Yeah, you know, when I was playing, I decided to listen to Oswald and spare Rued's life, but what exactly is the relationship like between Eivor and Oswald?
So the relationship between Eivor and Oswald is an alliance. It's basically Eivor is surrounded by territories that initially getting into England are hostile towards her. And obviously, if you want to set up a new settlement, you want to make sure that your neighbor is friendly. So here in East Anglia, Oswald is the man for the job, where putting him into a position of power would help her sort of secure her territory. So earlier on to the territory, Eivor comes in here, meets Oswald. The problems he had with Rued are sort of put to light, and going through the arc, you basically help him deal with Rued and aligning basically Danes with Saxons in one territory.
So, Fizz, we've completed the assault. We've gotten our hands dirty with some combat, taken down Rued. We have this big open region of East Anglia, so before we head off to Oswald's wedding, what do you say we head out, have some fun, and see what we can get into in the open world?
That sounds great.
So we see a cat here with a speech bubble above it, and you best believe if you let me talk to a cat, I'm gonna talk to a cat.
Yeah, these are some of our some of my favorite moments actually in the game, where we put out a whole bunch of events throughout the territory. And it sort of rewards, again, exploration, going around. It's a chance for us also to sort of showcase a different side of Eivor. A lot of the quests sort of deal more with like politics and warfare, and this shows a slightly more human nature to her. So it permits us to explore that character a little bit more. And so here, basically, like you're trying to help a kid with his cat, and ultimately get that cat to sort of join your crew as a cat raider.
You just said cat raider way too casually. You're telling me I could have a cat Viking raider on my longship?
That's exactly what I'm telling you.
Oh my god, yes, I love it. Perfect.
El gato está durmiendo ahí.
So yeah, as you're riding around the rivers of England, you would see a cat basically walking around your longship, keeping your Viking raiders company.
Que no le pase nada al gato, está bueno.
Speaking of the Viking longship, we're seeing some of that gameplay here now. Can you talk a little bit about how that works and functions in Valhalla?
Yeah, so starting out on this project, I think the Viking longship is one of the biggest images that we all have when we think about Vikings in our game. And so Vikings had this awesome design for longship that had a very shallow hull, so it permitted them to go very far inland very quickly, and you could basically disembark Viking raiders like on pretty much any shore. We added that into the game, where you can basically sail up to any location and then just decide to disembark with your guys and raid a location, loot all its treasure, get back in the ship, and then continue sailing down the river to your next opportunity.
So I know past Assassin's Creed games allowed for songs and things like that to be sung on ships. Will Valhalla have a similar version of that?
Yeah, so this is something we actually wanted the crew of your ship to become like your home away from home.
Lo que me va a gustar de este juego es que puedes explorar bien bonito los escenarios. En el Origins también tiene bonitos escenarios, el Odyssey ni qué decir. Bonitos escenarios. Es lo único bueno que puedo rescatar de esos juegos. Pero hay que darles una oportunidad.
To hear more about their life, so you can actually queue up stories, and they'll give you a little bit more background on who they are. So you get to know your sort of fighters as you're traveling around the world, which is a cool moment.
So here we're seeing a bit of a different view. What exactly are we looking at?
We had this on previous Assassins, where you would like ride on your horse and you could pull out, have the horse sort of follow the track. We have a similar thing for the ship, where you can put up your sails. It's cruise control for the ship, so you can pull back, take in the scenery, listen to some songs or some stories, and just take it all in.
¿Hablarán algo sobre el credo de los asesinos?
So, speaking of Viking songs, we have an activity here that's not exactly singing, but kind of related, right?
Yeah, so here what we have is what we call flighting, which was an activity that Norse people would partake in. They would like to have a battle of wits and
¿Habrá más apariciones desde el huevón de Godín?
Insults would be thrown back and forth between each other.
¿Hablarán sobre Thor?
To try and have a good insult, but also to have a good rhythm and a good rhyme in there. So it's basically a precursor to rap battles.
Here's the silver.
Tiene algo acá, ¿no? ¿Se habrá quemado en el cuello?
To all those whom I speak, they say Eivor's a clod.
¿Qué le habrá pasado?
Then you're speaking to fools and their knowledge is flawed.
Well,
how exactly
tiene sus estos no de las hojas ocultas.
The trick behind a good flight was to choose the right insult, identifying the right cadence, and then trying to find what rhymed the best.
I'm known for my might.
Interesting. Silent whispers all claim that you're terribly dense.
Then you've clearly misheard them. My wit is immense.
Oh, you looked out with that one. Well, what a surprise. Eivor of the Raven Clan is a true talent. I'm shocked.
Don't believe everything you hear, unless it touches on my flighting. Then heed every word.
Take the coin.
So now that we've proven our sharp tongue and wit, I think it's time for a bit more relaxing activity. So we're fishing here.
Yeah, that's it.
Puede ponerse su capucha, ¿no?
We gave Eivor a fishing line, so you can actually throw out a line and go catch some fish. This is used basically to play into our new health loop, where the player will lose health in the world, and it doesn't automatically regenerate like we would have in the past. So you actually have to go out and get some supplies. So you'll find mushrooms and some food that you can gather. You can also catch some fish and consume that to regain some health. We also will sometimes have it in certain quests. So it's a good way to sort of chill out on the side of the water and just, again, take it all in. So this is what we call one of our offering altars. So the idea is that you find these around the world and you make offerings.
Saludos para el Matador, ¿cómo está, causita?
Take like animal parts and stuff that you can find around the world.
Saludos, Matador.
Here what you're seeing though is sort of like a fancy version of it where
todos queremos el juego ya. Sí, hay que darle una oportunidad, ¿por qué no? Ya tengo mucha curiosidad. Quiero saber por qué jugamos con ella, por qué está quemado su cuello, qué tiene que ver ella con los asesinos. Fue entrenada por alguien que era asesino, su papá era un asesino, o sea, tengo toda esa curiosidad.
Yeah, and it's really what we were trying to do with these events is to give another dimension to Eivor, other than just, you know, the pure raw Viking or the politician, because you can imagine at some point that we'll grow old if you're always telling that version of the character. So it lets us really go into the depth of who is Eivor, what motivates her, how she can interact with the world outside of warfare and politics.
Puros escudos, armaduras, espadas, lanzas.
And it also showcases like a different facet of the world at the same time. It's not only Eivor, so it just widens the breadth of the stories that we can tell.
So who exactly are these two children?
These are kids of East Anglia. They are
¿Podrás envenenar también la hoja oculta? No lo sé.
Whatever Rued's been doing to the territory.
Sería bacán.
And so they're just here trying to survive and basically exploit the people that are there to make offerings.
It was kind of nice to see that Eivor wasn't really necessarily upset at them for stealing, and you know, after you talk to them, you have the choice of helping them. You can, you know, give them food, give them some money, or you know, maybe just say, hey, good luck, on your way.
Yeah, and this is something we also wanted to do a lot. Like, so here we're doing an event, we do it in quests as well, but we want to give a lot of this agency into players' hands so that they can sort of shape Eivor a little bit.
Solo espero no se hagan los mongolos quejándose de por qué ella sale una chica y por qué es rubia, ¿no? Ya sería el colmo ya. Que de todo se quejan estos imbéciles. Son vikingos. El genotipo de los vikingos es así como el de ella.
You're welcome here anytime, Large Walker. You're one of us now. Visit us, okay?
I will. Take care now, small green walkers.
So I think AC veterans might recognize this
Por
here,
fin,
but
parkour. Quiero ver
what
el
exactly
parkour.
is Eivor chasing down?
Yeah, so here you're seeing Eivor running down one of our tattoo images. So this is
Espero no tenga las mismas fallas que el parkour del
Odyssey.
El Odyssey, qué mierda con su parkour.
Sort of pulling
Puros
out their heartstrings
glitches.
for some beloved features.
So are we going to be able to tattoo Eivor?
Yes, by collecting these tattoos, you actually bring them back to your settlement, and then you can customize different body parts, having different tattoos everywhere.
Qué bonito atardecer,
So again,
¿no?
another form of expression, and it's sort of to represent that Viking culture.
Fizz, one of my favorite things when I was just out there exploring East Anglia was coming upon a house
Algo
or
bloquea la
building
puerta de ese
and realizing
asiento.
that there was a chest inside, but that there was no easy way in. And in this case, I saw all the doors were barred, but I knew that because there was a chest in there must have been some way to get inside. So I went around the back and, found a way in.
Yeah, I'm glad you actually caught on to that. You're pointing at something that we wanted to work on a lot on Valhalla, where we wanted the exploration to make you feel smarter. So we played a lot with puzzle solving, so making sure that every house that you find sort of appeals to you, like it draws your attention, and then when you want to come and explore, it's not given to you. You still have to work for it a little bit, so it'll challenge you on your observation skills, logic, just trying to find how do I get into this. So we play a lot with level design, quest design to offer challenges to players, and you basically come out of it like with a better feeling for the exploration, but you also get to see more of a story behind any of these locations which we've crafted. So it gave us a little bit more time to sort of slow down the experience and tell a different version of a story.
A poor victim of someone's fury.
Yeah, I mean, speaking about exploration and just finding things out in the world, I was just wandering and came across this clearing and found this kind of morbid altar.
Yeah, so this is one of our bigger events that we have scattered in the world. So as Eivor explores, she can find altars like this, and by interacting with them, here it's a trap that's been set by this character named Regan. Now, there's a bigger story behind all this. There's multiple steps to it later on. So this is one of the moments. It permits us to go into a slightly more mystical realm and play with a boss fight that has more magical abilities, if we will. And basically have this awesome boss fight in the middle of the swamps.
Mierda.
And so here the abilities that you see Reagan using are a little bit on the mystical side of things. What's happening is Eivor at the beginning of that trap is poisoned, and so she starts sort of hallucinating, seeing the world in a sort of different light and filter. And so that's sort of what lets us go into the realm of the weird.
My rage, spirit of my father's rage, fill me!
¡Hala! ¿Cuánto le quitó de vida? Se ve que no va a estar fácil esta, ¿eh? Bueno, toma payasasa. Bueno, sí estuvo fácil.
So we just saw here that Regan belongs to something called the Daughters of Lyrium?
Yeah, that's correct. By finding the other daughters, you'll get a little bit more backstory on who they are, so we don't want to spoil that too much. But it creates like a sort of greater story that is not on the main path in any way, but it's still very rich and adds to the lore of this world and actually plays into history.
So we just had a really exciting, really intense boss battle. I think it's time for something a little bit more relaxing and calming now.
Yeah, it's all about pacing yourself with the highs and the lows. So here we have a low chill moment of what we call building a cairn. So Eivor, as she explores the world, will find these sort of meditative areas where you have a pile of rocks that you could just stack on top of one another using physics. And I mean, yeah, the ultimate goal is to try and get the highest pile of rocks, but really it's about taking in the sights, relaxing, taking a step back, and just building something.
Together we stack stones into cairns.
These?
Yes. Think of this as a test of mind and wit.
Okay.
Stack the cairn stones high and wide into any shape you like.
I mean, you can spend as much time as you want building these things, making them as high as you want, as weird as you want. I'm sure like a lot of these stuff will end up on the internet, like people comparing structures. And the cool thing is that once you've built it and you decide to get out of it, it sort of stays there. And so that's yours, right? And until the moment where you come back and you want to build a new one. It's sort of cool that we were able to give that to players to express themselves.
At this point in the demo, we've explored East Anglia, we've met some children, we've broken into a house, we fought a boss, we built a cairn. I think now it's finally time to go and head off to Oswald's wedding.
Yeah, so this is the moment it's all been building up to.
No sé, siento más como si este fuera un God of War 2 y el Ghost of Tsushima fuera un Assassin's Creed.
Dane lady.
Algo así lo siento yo.
As you go through the arc, that's sort of like the underlying thread. Really, it's about Rued creating turmoil in the territory and helping Oswald sort of get above that and show that he's a good leader. And so you finally, after going through all of that arc, finally get these two together, go through their wedding, and you're invited to attend the ceremony. And then all the activities and fun times that comes afterwards.
Yeah, as much as we've seen the brutal side of England, it's nice to see the joyous side of it as well.
Yeah, and it's something we really wanted to play on in Valhalla, where being a Viking is not only about being a raider or a warrior. I mean, there's revelry, there's feasting, there's partying that goes, and like if someone knows how to party, it's a Viking. And so here, this is one of our opportunities to sort of show what a sort of Viking gathering is. And what's cool here is it's a good alliance of Norse culture with Saxon culture, sort of smashing those two things together and building bridges.
Yeah, I mean, what's a wedding without some drunk archery, right?
Yeah, so like, anything can happen in a Viking event, right? Eivor, yeah, here, you just get drunk, shoot some arrows.
Barely a challenge.
Steady all, and ready yourself for the wedding race. The king and his bride against all!
My king!
Oh, qué rico otra vez.
Here we see the decision I made to spare Rued came back to bite us.
Yep, that's the decision you made, coming back. So as we said before, all of your decisions have consequences, and this is a big one.
I challenge you.
Te reto, payaso.
I accept.
You're basically presented with the option to sort of step in for Oswald, fight the fight for him, or let him go and fight his own fight.
Yeah, personally, I chose to fight myself because I thought Eivor is the type of person who likes to finish what she started.
Plank by plank, and a dead king cannot keep his oaths. Let me finish this.
Oswald, you gutless Arya swine! I'll slay the wolf-kissed, then hang you with your own tongue.
How does this encounter with Rued differ from our previous fight with him?
So at this point, you've eliminated his wolf, so it's just him. And so he's angry at this point, and so he will start using his big gun abilities like fairly earlier on in the fight. So it's way more vicious, way faster. There's less strategy. He goes literally swords blazing at you. And so this is a fight to the death.
Ya está en la banca, pero antes de estar en la banca estaba flotando. La caga. Ya está en la banca. Son dos bancas, por si no han visto.
And of course here, like, this is a decision you made to go and fight him, but there's multiple outcomes to this scenario. You could have let Oswald fight his own fight and prove basically his station as the rightful leader. If you had eliminated Rued, obviously this would not have happened. It would have been a slightly more joyous occasion. But ultimately, in all scenarios, you still have an alliance with Oswald. He's proven to be the right leader for this territory and to be a good ally for you.
A great service. I promised you an alliance, and now you have it.
And one day I will need you to make good on that alliance.
So we're about to take off from the wedding, but Eivor decides it's a good idea to check
¿Ese rey le traicionará? No lo sé, me da curiosidad.
Yeah, so Finner is probably one of the more recurring characters in this arc. You get to meet him very early on. He's a very endearing character, sort of used to have a Viking life, sort of misses it, and going through all these adventures together is sort of like lights that fire back, and so he's willing to join you in your raiders. So he's one of many raiders that you'll encounter in the game, and you can sort of recruit, bring back home, and then have them sort of join you on your adventures on Longship. He can tell you these stories that we're telling you about. You get to know a little bit more about him. So again, it's a fun way to sort of discover more about these characters that you meet and bring them along for adventures.
Together. I'll gather my things.
Well, folks, we've come to the end of our Assassin's Creed Valhalla playthrough. Fizz, thank you so much for joining us. When and where can people play it?
Assassin's Creed Valhalla will be out on Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5, and is coming to Xbox One, PlayStation 4, PC, and Stadia on November 17th.
Play 5, Xbox Series y en PC, obviamente. Más sobre Hyperscape.
Joining us, my name is Eric Pope. I'm the Senior Community Developer on Hyperscape.
And I'm Graham Jennings. I'm the Senior Producer on Hyperscape. Hyperscape's now in its open beta phase, so you can go to Uplay and download it directly.
So a little while back, we recorded a match for you so we could walk through it moment to moment, explain what's going on throughout a match of Hyperscape. There's a lot going on with hacks, guns, the gameplay. So Graham and I are going to walk you through it right now, and I hope you'll enjoy it.
So at the start now, you'll see the insertion phase. There's the 3 of them in the squad, so they're trying to decide on where they want to go. It looks like Helios, which is one of the landmarks, is going to be one of the choices.
So all the places we're seeing on the map right now with like a name above it, that tends to be a higher loot area, would you say?
For one of the big yellow letter ones like this one, this is one of the landmarks. Landmarks tend to have higher density and higher quality loot overall.
Ay, no me di cuenta.
Most people will be going there, so you might
usually have a few more friends if you go to a landmark. So in this case though, he's gone outside and he's found a supply crate. So he's starting to loot these instead, so he's looking for both hacks and weapons within those.
Right, so the looting phase, many folks will be familiar with, but in Hyperscape, you do have those supply crates that you may be lucky enough to find. And what's the deal with supply crates?
So supply crates are placed around the world, so you'll hear them and then you can go and find them, and then inside them you'll find weapons and hacks. Usually you find slightly better weapons and hacks within them. Here now we've switched, so we're looking at Chimera instead. So he's in the landmark, he's in Helios now, and he's still in the looting phase. But as you can see from the red triangle up there, there's actually some friends, or not friends, in there with him just now.
Yeah, so the action gets started, okay, right here.
Yeah, so he's one-on-one, he's going with the Mammoth shotgun against someone who's using the heal hack at the minute, which is the red circle you can see. So that player's taking extra health at that point.
Which looks like it helped him hold his ground against that mammoth.
And I believe it helped him survive at that point. There seems to be a few other players in here just now, so the combat started and elimination's got his first kill. Oh no, so he's just been eliminated actually.
Yeah.
So he just, he's been eliminated and he's turned into an echo now. So he's gonna wait for his friends to bring him back. So he's gonna go to one of these restore points, which are basically places where someone else from another squad's been eliminated, and you can be restored and brought back to life at one of those points.
So the action pretty much never stops in the game. If you're eliminated, you're not out.
You're not stuck watching a camera with someone else. You're still playing, you can inform your squad as to what's going on, and then you can call to be restored at one of those points. There's plenty of people, like you said, who ended up at Helios at the end. There's at least three other squads.
So we can also see when you have a teammate who needs a revive, it's called out on
Se movió.
Yeah, the green icon you can see at the side is him calling for a revive at this point. So Mr. Gomi's busy eliminating other players, which will cause more revive points to appear as well. This guy's low on health, so I don't think he's going to last long.
Okay, so I see once someone's eliminated, they drop a revive point that you can use.
What you'll actually see at the minute now is both Chimera and Elimination are both echoes, so it's just Mr. Gomi by himself at present time. So can he survive this and get through? He's going again. There's still a few other players in here, that's for sure. So that was the slam hack he used there. So basically he projected himself up in the air, he landed, he dealt some damage, and he's managed to eliminate the other player.
Yeah, he got the elimination with it, which is pretty good.
And then he's starting to bring back Chimera at this point, so he's now back into the game.
Right.
So he's got to reloot and find new weapons again, because when you are eliminated, you go back to just your melee weapon.
Okay, so you don't hold on to your gear when you get eliminated.
No. So this is the start of the decay you can see. So you see all these blue triangles that are appearing. This is how we basically do, map size reduction and zone reduction to bring players towards a smaller map into the center. So instead of having a circle that shrinks, we've decided to actually dissolve the map.
And is it kind of the same?
Okay,
will you always
solamente los
know
escenarios no me
which
gustan, pero
districts are decaying first?
You can see from the map when you bring it up what's going, and you'll also see the icon when he turns on the left-hand side of the screen a second ago, which shows you where the safe area to go is. So at the top it will show you sector is closing, and then you've got the little icon of the person running with a distance against it. That tells you where to go to the next safe place.
Era temporal nomás, porque se veía así.
So I see Mr. Gummy has pinged that spot to sort of regroup outside of the landmark.
We're going to take some height as well to start to be able to look
Pucha,
for other
viendo el
players.
PUBG, Fortnite,
So he's seen another player, so he's starting to throw
Warzone,
salvos at him, and probably the
Apex.
Skybreaker too. You see the red
Paladins,
exclamation mark?
Overwatch.
That's basically his teammates pinging and saying, hey, there's an enemy
Creo
over
que
here.
fracasó la vaina del
And he's been shot out from behind.
de los héroes, algo así, de
So you're going to go
Paladinos.
high again to try and take some positional
Que era también de
advantage.
Paladins,
To
de
get
los
up.
mismos
He
creadores.
knows there's another team on the roof up there. He doesn't want
Y ahora va a
to
estar
kill them,
este,
especially
va a
not
estar
with a salvo
Valorant.
rifle.
Well, what I'm
Muchos
noticing is
juegos
that they're doing a
ya
good job of switching
competitivos.
from street level to the rooftops. Is that kind of a good way to approach a game of Hyperscape, to not just stay in one area?
You should really use the variety between streets, interiors, and rooftops for navigation. And
Aparte del propio Call of Duty normal.
rooftops are great to see what's going on, but you're also then a
Pucha
target for
máquina.
snipe. So you really need to adjust height and interior, exterior as you
Está
go,
el
just to
COD.
keep yourself safe, and to aggressively loot too to find the best stuff.
So he just picked Golden Skybreaker. What does the gold mean?
That is the top tier of Skybreaker. So basically, you can have a
Es lo
level
mismo de
5
lo mismo,
Skybreaker,
estos
which is
tipos de
what you just
juegos, así
picked up.
que
We will fusion
nada
weapons
novedoso.
together. So if you have a Skybreaker and you find another Skybreaker, it will go to level 2.
¿Hasta
Find
qué hora
another
durará
one,
el
it will
evento,
go to level 3.
Sebastián?
And what he has now, as you can
No sé,
see
yo
in
más
the
estaba
bottom,
intrigado
bar there
por
with yellow, he has
el
the
problema
top
de
tier
que no se
Skybreaker,
podía
which
loguear.
does more damage. So each time
Quería
you do something, a
el
weapon
Watch
or
Dogs
a hack,
2.
it will go up to this
Estábamos viendo el Assassin's Creed que está en
So
algo.
basically, just to loot
Está
up, to
interesante.
fuse up, you just need to find
No digo que es lo
the
máximo, pero
hack.
para no voy a mentir. Pero está interesante. Quiero saber qué va a pasar. Y qué tiene que ver los asesinos con Eivor, ¿no? Con la chica esa.
So you see though on the left, when you see
Y
the
esa
other
marca
players'
del
names,
cuello
you can
me da
see
curiosidad. ¿La habrán
Mr. Gomez has
torturado?
two,
¿Qué le habrán
yellow
hecho?
weapons
¿Salvando a
and
su
the yellow
papá,
hack.
a
So
su
he has
mamá?
2 fully fused weapons and
No lo
one fully
sabemos.
fused hack.
Y el evento no sé hasta cuándo durará. No sé, media hora,
So healing
20
will either
minutos
work
más.
by I took damage and then I retreated and your health bar will come back up. Or if a player has a heal hack, which he actually does at present time, so you see
Quiero
that
ver
on the
porque así
bottom
nomás
it
nunca
says
vemos
heal.
un evento
You can throw that on the
y
ground and then there'll be an AoE of
igual
heal.
no
So
tengo nada que
both you and your teammates can come into it and it will heal you.
And enemies cannot heal up in that same AoE.
They can't heal up in your AoE, but they could
Ya
also use the
almorcé.
heal hack themselves if they wish.
Así que ya cuando termine el evento me echo un rato a descansar y más rato le damos al streaming del Siphon Filter 1 que está, no, del Siphon Filter 2 de Play 1 que está sensacional. Ayer vimos el primer capítulo y está sensacional. Está en español.
So this guy finds himself in the middle of a bunch of the 3 players, so he's not in the best spot.
Con todo este frío que hace acá.
And yeah, that's the end of it.
Sino que este juego, no sé, lo veo como si fuera otro Paladins, otro Overwatch más. Lo mismo de lo mismo, ¿no? Ya Ah, sí.
So if you manage to
Saludos para el
fuse
Daniel
them,
San, ¿cómo está? No puedo reclamar el Watch
So
2.
here you'll see the decay
¿Qué pasa?
started. The player found himself
El problema
out in
con
the
el
decay
Watch
as it was
2,
starting. You had no cover
Watch
left, so you find
Dogs
yourself out in
2,
the open and
que a veces digo
you
los primeros,
eliminated them with a record
el
at
Watch
that point.
Dogs 2 es de que no se puede loguear. Ha habido problemas en los servidores de Ubisoft y dijeron que cuando lo arreglen van a poder regalarles a todos el juego, ¿no? Así que hay que estar pacientes. Yo ya me pude loguear por fin otra vez en Uplay porque me había votado. Yo ya había iniciado sesión 1 hora antes del evento y me votó. La huevada me votó. Se cerró, pum, solito. Y dije, quise volver a loguearme y no se podía. Luego acá, del evento que estoy viendo acá, supuestamente estoy logueado, pero no puedo reclamar el Watch Dogs 2. No lo puedo reclamar. Pero estoy logueado. Es medio raro, ¿no? Está en mantenimiento, dice. Regresa después o más tarde para que reclames tu copia gratuita del juego. No sé si lo puedo abrir en otra página ahorita, pero como estoy capturando ahorita el evento, va a salir como... De repente sale mi información, no quiero que se vea, ¿no? Ese es el problema, que casi nadie ha podido loguearse, casi nadie ha podido ir a los drops en Twitch, nadie ha podido recibir nada, nadie se ha podido loguear desde el Uplay, no se ha podido nada, que no, como la canción. Es una huevada, de verdad. Solo espero que después nos lo puedan dar a todos, ¿no? El Watch Dogs. Cualquier cosa igual lo publicaré en Twitter y en la página de Facebook. El que me llamó mucho la atención de su tráiler fue el del Far Cry 6. Está muy bueno ese tráiler. ¿Qué pasará con el niño, no? El niño se llama Diego. ¿Qué pasará? ¿Es el hijo del presidente? Buen tráiler. Falta el gameplay nomás a esperar. El del Valhalla obviamente sí se nota la diferencia entre un tráiler cinemáticos con un gameplay. Gente, ay, que así se va a ver, no, así no se va a ver, ni cagando se va a ver así. Sale un mensaje que aunque no puedas conectarte recibirás una copia de Watch Dogs. Ajá. A mí también me dice igual. Y se ve piola el este. El del Valhalla, bueno, protagonista mujer. A mí en lo personal no me molesta que sea hombre, mujer, sea un perro, sea lo que sea. Caballo el protagonista. La cosa es que esté piola, que tenga buena trama, buena historia. Y que sea carismático o carismática el personaje. Después de eso, su sexualidad, su etnia, su religión a mí me tiene sin cuidado. Yo lo que quiero es disfrutar de un buen juego que sea divertido y que tú estés, oh, qué piola, ah, su madre, quiero saber más, ojalá que sus amigos no mueran y cosas así. Solamente espero que no se quejen con estupideces de que, ay, ¿por qué una rubia? Son vikingos, carajo. Vikingos. Su genética es así. Siempre hay cualquier imbécil que de todo. ¿Por qué no hay personaje de color? ¿El Valhalla? Valhalla se ve bueno. No digo que se ve la gran cosa, porque sería exagerar y mentir, pero está bueno. Tengo mucha curiosidad sobre la historia. ¿Por qué tiene que ver con los asesinos? ¿Por qué la hoja oculta ahora está acá arriba? En la izquierda, ¿no? No quiero que choque mi micrófono. Acá, ¿no? Sale de acá. ¿Por qué no sale el huevón que nos mostraron en el tráiler? Él será el papá de Eivor, de la chica, ¿no? La protagonista. O al final puedes jugar con alguien más, o solamente con Eivor, no lo sé, tengo toda esa curiosidad. Puedes explorar. Está genial. Quiero ver estos pelados, ¿no? Sí, tu juego, yo le doy 1 o 2 temporadas y ya juega.
So Graham, thank you for your time.
Thank you, Eric. Have a good day.
And we'll see you in the Hyperscape.
Chao, chao. Cuídate, Hyperscape. No le veo mucho futuro, pero... ¿Se habrá acabado? ¿Se acabó el evento? No lo quiero cortar porque capaz... Oh, bienvenido al otro. Quiero ver si se corta. Sigue en vivo, dice. Y está genial. Si no, igual lo puedes ver resubido. En Twitch, ahí lo puedes verlo. O en YouTube, que se termine de procesar. Más rápido sería en Twitch verlo, ¿no? La parte del Valhalla. Ha habido mucho gameplay, no hay de qué quejarse, ¿eh? Hay boss battle, hay parkour. Hay de todo. Hay de todo, hay de todo. Si te gustó Origins, el Origins y el Odyssey, te va a gustar el Valhalla a full. Si eres más de los Nostalfab, de estos miércoles que les gusta lo antiguo, las Assassin's Creed antiguo, entonces de repente no te gusta. Siguen vivos, dice acá. No sale nada más, creo que se acabó. GG, sí. ¿Se acabó? Parece que GG o saldrá algo más. En lo personal ha estado en algo. El Far Cry 6 tengo mucha curiosidad. Hasta ahorita mi favorito de todos los Far Cry, yo he jugado el Primal, he jugado el 3, creo que esos dos nomás he jugado. El 4 está en oferta. Creo que solamente he jugado 2 Far Cry y los dos me gustaron. El Primal es chévere, ¿eh? Pero el 3 es otra cosa. Siempre va a ser el mejor. Sí, creo que se acabó el evento. Parece que sí. Quiero que salga ahí, que ya se cortó. No lo cortan todavía ellos. Tengo miedo de que salga... Justo lo corto el stream y sale algo más o no lo sé. Aunque ya no dice nada del hashtag. Ya no sale el hashtag. Eso sería todo entonces. Está cargando, ¿ves? Espérense, voy a actualizar la página. De repente ya se cortó. Oh, sí, ya se acabó el evento ya. Ya se acabó el evento. Sí, se acabó el evento. Se acabó el evento, causitas. Sí, sale otra vez, ¿no? Que lo ponga. Ok, voy a quitar esto de acá. ¿Dónde está el Ubisoft? Voy a quitarlo. Eso sería todo. El evento estaba en algo. Había unos cuantos juegos que... El último, bueno, ese Hyperscape. Así, a mi humilde opinión, no le veo mucho futuro a ese juego. Va a estar en algo, ¿no? Va a estar de repente un tiempito vigente. Gente por curiosidad lo van a jugar, pero... Así que lo único que me ha gustado es el Valhalla, el Far Cry 3. Lo demás... Está en algo. Trackmania, ¿no? Lo pueden bajar en la Epic Store usando el código que está ahí abajito. Logan 3D en Epic Store. El Trackmania. Ahí lo pueden descargar totalmente gratis. Eso sería todo, así que hay que esperar. Far Cry sale creo el 18 de febrero del 2021. Según lo que vi ahí en el tráiler. Y queda esperar nomás. A ver un gameplay qué tal está. Gracias por todo su apoyo, esto es muy divertido. Y más tarde le damos al Siphon Filter 2 para Play 1 en español. Jolines, tío. Gracias por todo su apoyo, se despide su amigo Logan. Hasta luego. Chao, chao, chao.